Hey guys, J0, how you doing? We are in the kitchen baking because it is bread day. We're making bread, and some of y'all said you wanted me to share my bread recipe with you, so here we go. Let's see if I can get this to focus in or not on there. You can push the pause and read that recipe, I hope. But we got 5 1/4 cups of flour, 1/4 cup of sugar, a half a tablespoon of salt, 1 1/2 tablespoons of dry instant yeast. And I always use the fast acting or the quick activated, whatever it is. We need 1 1/2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 2 cups of hot water. Sometimes you may need to use 2 1/4 cups of hot water, depending on how humid it is and stuff like that. So anyway, my ancient secret recipe book here. Oh, there's some good stuff in there, y'all. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. All right, so we got stand mixer, which makes bread making a lot easier. If you don't have one, just do the best you can. You can even use your hands. This is a pretty basic white bread recipe, and we use it for just about every daggum thing we make around here. So what we got in here, we got our flour, we got our salt, we got our yeast, and we got it in there in a big pile. So now we're just going to hit the switch and just kind of let it mix up a little bit. Mixing it up. We've got warm water right here. Now I know there's a lot of people who say, oh, you're doing it wrong. You got to put the yeast in the water and let it bubble up. And blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? I do it every time like this. Every time like this. So now I got my stuff going, and I'm going to start adding my water in until I feel I have enough water in here. And we got a good dough going on. You want your dough to be kind of sticky, but still easily worked. You know, and the good thing about this bread recipe is, I mean, we literally use it for everything. Remember the bread bowls? You can form it into loaves. You can form it into like the French Italian style. You can form it into the bread bowls. You can form it into little Kaiser buns. You can form it to whatever you want, and it's just a basic, easy white bread recipe. The only thing that I would really suggest is make sure that you use bread flour. Bread flour works a lot better than all-purpose flour. Don't ask me how I know. Just trust me. That was bad, y'all. All right, so we're going to let this knead up now like this for about 5 minutes or so. We're going to just let it knead. I'm going to bump it up a little bit. Let it knead for about 5 minutes or so, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put it in a bowl, and we're going to put a little bit of saran wrap over the top of the bowl, and then in our little dehydrator here, we have an Excalibur dehydrator, which works really, really well for proofing bread, because when we make bread, we're making a lot of bread, y'all. We're making enough bread to last us for the next 5 or 6 days, because it freezes really good too. Throw it in the freezer if you make a whole bunch. Make a big batch of it in one day when it's raining. Throw it in the freezer. Anyway, we're going to let it proof up and let it rise. If you don't have a proof box, or you don't have a dehydrator or something like that, and just set it on top of the oven. Whew, there we go. You just set it on top of the oven and let it rise for about 25 minutes. So now what we're going to do, I think we're going to make loaves with these. And as soon as I get the loaves done and cut and in the pan, I'll get right back with you. So, be back in 1 second. Alrighty, now we are going to, we pulled this batch that's been proofing out of the dehydrator. Let me get you down here and take a look. There's a fish tank. Alright, so now it's just like any other dough. I'm going to get a little bit of flour on me here. It rose up. This here we're going to make a loaves, but we want them a little more airy. You can just flop this out right now, flop it out, cut it into loaves and bake it. But we are going to punch it down. The bowl, by the way, is we sprayed it with like the cooking spray, Pam cooking spray, vegetable oil stuff. Work it in there. like that. And by the way, if you wanted to make an Italian bread, or you wanted to add some sort of flavors or cheese or something like that, throw it in here. I think it'll work out just fine. We've added spices and stuff to ours before, never added cheese. But you know what? That's the beauty about cooking. Go for what you like. If you like it, throw it in there. See what happens. All right. Let me get my counter spot here going, and turn that off. Now we're going to take the bowl of dough, dump it right out onto our floured countertop, and knead it. Just a little bit. Doesn't take a whole lot of kneading. If your counter starts sticking a little bit, if you feel your dough starts sticking, just grab you a little bit more flour, sprinkle it right on there. I'm telling y'all, it is really, really easy to do this. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm telling you that because I am not, by no means, an expert on anything. I'm just a big old goofball. And if I can get it done, anybody can get it done. All right. Now, this is 2 loaves of bread. So we're going to take our fancy, some call it a scraper, some call it a dough knife. I call it the big silver square thing. Just cut it in half. Now you've got 2 loaves of bread. Dip a little bit on the end on flour so it doesn't stick. And you can form this into whatever you want. If you're going to make bread bowls, I would cut it in half again. And then you can form your little dough, just take your dough and form it up like this. And that will make you a good bread bowl. Put a couple of little scores in it so that you can, let the steam get out of it. These are going to just be regular loaves of bread. So we are going to now just toss this. We're going to go like this. What we got to do is, you see we got our loaf pan there, and then now we want to place the dough. There's a certain way you got to place the dough in here. Like, you got to go like this. Okay, that's key. You got to drop it in there real hard. I'm just kidding. All right, take you a knife, any kind of knife, your favorite knife. Make you a couple little score marks across the top, like that, so that the bread can steam as it cooks. Now we're going to throw these into an oven at 350 degrees. This will bake just like this. For 350 degrees, it'll rise. It'll make you a loaf of bread for 35 minutes. Or you can throw this back in the proof box and let it rise again, which is what we're going to do. We're going to double rise it, and we'll get back with you whenever it's all done rising. Again, 25 minutes. All right, 25 minutes has gone by. They have rose a second time, so now we're just going to take our bread, and in the 350 degree oven, I even got a meatloaf in here. I'm just going to put it right along the side there. 350 degree oven. For 35 minutes, and after 35 minutes you will get bread. This was one batch that we did, so this is another batch. You get 2 loaves just like this out of your bread. These here are shinier and they got a different crust on the top of them, because that is 1 egg white and a little bit of water mixed together and brush it on top. But literally we use this recipe for everything. We make our dinner rolls / hamburger buns, you name it. It works for all kinds of bread. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope it makes sense. Questions or comments, feel free. It's pretty straightforward. If I can do it, I guarantee you can do it, because I am just a dude, and it is what it is. It's really easy. So the end, I guess. God bless y'all. Have a good evening. Man. Buzz, the end.